Welcome, luminous souls, to old Buddhist philosophy, where silence speaks and the hidden laws of the cosmos reveal themselves in whispers older than time itself. Here we do not rush towards success as if it were a finish line. Instead, we watch it unfold like a lotus in still water, petal by petal in its own divine season. In this second half of 2025, the air carries a rare vibration, a quiet but undeniable hue beneath the fabric of time. It is not the roar of change, but the steady heartbeat of the universe, guiding your steps, aligning unseen forces, and calling you toward the life that has always been waiting for you. The ancients knew that destiny is not built in haste, but revealed in rhythm. Great seers, like Nostradamus and Baba Vanga, spoke of such seasons, moments when the invisible hand of fate moves pieces across the cosmic chessboard, setting events in motion before the human mind even notices the shift. It is during such times that symbols, dreams, and synchronicities become the language of the divine, offering those who are awake the chance to listen, align, and receive. If you are here now, it is not chance. The wind that carries the seed knows where to plant it. You were brought to this moment because your spirit is ready to hear, ready to remember, and ready to step into the alignment you once agreed upon long before you were born. Every breath you take from this point is part of a greater design, every heartbeat syncing with a rhythm written in the stars. So as you listen, I invite you to open not just your ears, but your soul. Feel the words as more than sound. Let them become currents in your bloodstream, soft echoes of a truth you already know, but may have forgotten. The universe does not shout, it leans in and whispers, and only those who are still enough will hear its call. And when something within you stirs, a thought, an image, a deep knowing, honor it, speak it into existence, claim it in the comments, not as a wish, but as a declaration to the cosmos. I align my path with the flow of divine destiny, for in doing so, you are not only listening to the universe, you are answering it. The foundation of destiny. There is a quiet strength in the unseen roots of a tree. You do not hear them, yet they hold the entire forest upright. So it is with the foundation of destiny. In the wisdom of the ancients, it is the energy of stability, the earth that supports all journeys, the invisible bedrock upon which every great path is built. Without this grounding, even the most beautiful dreams drift like clouds, never touching the mountains they long to rest upon. Buddhist teachings remind us that peace is not the absence of chaos, but the presence of a steady mind. This period in your life calls for that very steadiness, a return to the soil, to the core, to the place within where the wind cannot shake you. Baba Vanga once spoke of seasons when humanity would forget the art of building slowly, trading patience for haste, depth for speed. She warned that in such times, the miracles we seek would hide themselves, appearing only to those who understood the sacred rhythm of deliberate creation. This is such a season. To embody this energy is to honor the builder's path, stone upon stone, habit upon habit, truth upon truth, until your life becomes a temple no storm can bring down. You do not rush this process, you bless it with presence. In numerology, the vibration of stability does not merely mean holding your ground. It is the art of creating a structure that allows your soul to grow freely. Think of a monastery high in the mountain. Its walls are not there to trap the monks, but to give them a space protected from distraction so they may deepen their practice. In the same way, the foundations you set now, in your daily rituals, your commitments, your inner discipline, will become the very framework that allows your higher self to awaken without fear of collapse. The Buddha taught that with our thoughts, we make the world. But thoughts without grounding vanish like echoes in the wind. A vision needs roots, a dream needs earth, and a destiny needs a foundation. This is why you are being called, right now, to tend to the small yet sacred details of your life, to mend what has been weakened, to strengthen what has been neglected, and to prepare the ground for the seeds you have yet to plant. Ask yourself with honesty and courage, what in my life must be rebuilt with steadier hands so it may stand unshaken through the storms yet to come? And when you find the answer, may you honor it not with haste, but with the patient rhythm of one who knows that a temple worthy of the soul is never built in a single day. Number 21. The doorway to divine opportunities. 21 is not merely a number, it is a turning of the cosmic wheel, a sacred point where the old chapter exhales its final breath and the new one draws in the first breath of destiny. In numerology, it is both the completion of a cycle and the first footstep into a fresh spiral, a spiral that does not repeat the past, but refines it into something more luminous. The ancients knew that 21 carries the energy of divine timing, of gates that do not swing open because you knocked, but because your soul's vibration has ripened enough for the universe to recognize you as ready. It is not chance, it is alignment. This month, the frequency of 21 whispers that there are unseen threads weaving for you, even now, drawing together moments, people, and opportunities into a pattern that your eyes cannot yet see. Nostradamus once spoke of such times as moments when the unseen order reveals itself to those prepared in spirit, and the gates of fortune stand unguarded. Perhaps this is such a moment, a doorway invisible to the hurried, yet wide open to the present-hearted. The question is not whether the doorway exists, but whether you are attuned enough to see it. In Buddhist thought, readiness is not about adding more, chasing harder, or stacking preparations like bricks. It is about uncluttering the spirit, placing down the weight of what no longer serves, and walking light into the threshold of the new. Imagine a traveler who arrives at a golden gate with arms full of burdens. They cannot enter until their hands are free. 21 teaches that the universe does not wait for you to be perfect, only for you to be empty enough to receive. The spiral of 21 also holds a quiet paradox. The end and the beginning are not two separate points, but one continuous flow. It is as if the river that carried you so far now becomes the ocean, and yet, in becoming vast, still remembers the path of its own current. To embrace this energy is to step through a doorway without hesitation, knowing that beyond it lies a space you have been longing for, even if you could not name it until now. There is a deeper trust here, trust in divine orchestration, trust that the right door will not remain closed if it was built for you, trust that every detour you endured was simply leading you to the threshold you now face. Let your steps be slow and reverent, for you are not merely walking into a new opportunity, you are entering the next chapter of your soul's story. Reflect. If the gates of fortune were standing open before me today, what burdens would I need to lay down in order to walk through freely? Number 18. The light beyond the shadow. 18 is not merely a sum of digits. It is a sacred alchemy, the fire of the number 1, carrying the courage to begin anew, merging with the infinity of the number 8, the wheel of endless cycles, the unbroken loop of cause and effect. Together, they form a vibration of karmic clearing, a celestial key that unlocks doors you did not even realize were sealed. This is not the number of casual change, but of soul-level release, the kind that transforms you from within, like winter's ice melting into the first rivers of spring. In ancient numerology, 18 often appears in moments when the soul is ready to set down its burdens, the fears you've worn like heavy robes, the silent doubts that have trailed you like shadows, the debts of the heart you've carried across lifetimes. It is a reminder that life is not meant to be a chain of past sorrows, but a flowing river, forever moving toward the ocean of your becoming. Baba Vanga once spoke of how the past clings like smoke until the wind of truth carries it away, and in this cycle, that wind is no gentle breeze. It is a powerful current, sweeping through the corridors of your destiny, urging you to breathe lighter, walk freer, and finally taste the air of your own liberation. In Buddhist wisdom, to let go is not a loss, it is the making of space. Just as an empty cup is ready to be filled, so too does an unburdened heart become a vessel for higher gifts. The Buddha taught that clinging is the root of suffering, not because the past is inherently wrong, but because holding it too tightly keeps you from touching the present moment's living miracle. 18 arrives as the hand that gently opens your grip, showing you that the treasure you seek cannot enter while the fist is closed. This number whispers that your path forward is not through fighting the shadows, but through walking beyond them. It asks you to recognize that the past has served its purpose. It has shaped you, tested you, and even scarred you, but it no longer defines you. When the karmic slate is ready to be wiped clean, 18 becomes the sacred cloth. Like a bell's final echo fading into silence, the weight begins to lift, and you realize that what you once called loss was always the clearing of space for the arrival of light. So now, as you stand on the threshold of this moment, hear the calling of 18 deep within your spirit, to release not just the obvious burdens, but the subtle ones, the quiet resentments, the unspoken regrets, the silent promises to wounds that no longer need your loyalty. The more you release, the more your destiny breathes, and the more your life begins to move with the unforced rhythm of a river finding its way home. Reflect deeply and share in the comments. What heaviness, long hidden or silently carried, are you finally ready to release so that your soul may walk freely toward its true horizon? Number 7. The Seeker's Light. 7 is the pilgrim's number, the sacred traveler, who walks not for the applause of the crowd, but for the whispers of truth that drift through the quiet spaces between worlds. It is the candle burning in a temple where no footsteps echo, the steady flame that keeps vigil through the long night. In the realm of numerology, 7 is the keeper of hidden knowledge, the guardian of mysteries too delicate to survive the noise of haste. It reminds us that not all treasures are found in motion, some are buried in stillness, waiting patiently for the soul to remember where to look. This month, the vibration of 7 moves like a gentle current beneath the noise of the world. It calls you away from the urgency of endless tasks, into a space where time softens and the heart is no longer hurried. Nostradamus once spoke of seekers who would find treasures buried in the silence between breaths, and under this number's guidance, you too are invited to wander into that silence. Here you will not find answers written in stone, but living truths that breathe with you, changing shape as your spirit deepens. Buddhist wisdom teaches that the greatest wealth is not gold nor power, but awakening itself, a moment when the eyes no longer see the world as it is, but as it truly is beyond illusion. 7 is the lantern that illuminates this path, revealing not the whole road, but enough for the next sure step. And in each step, the illusion of separation fades, until you realize the journey was never outward, but always toward the quiet center within. Under the influence of 7, you may feel called to retreat, not as an escape, but as a pilgrimage into your own depth. You might find that solitude no longer feels lonely, but full, as though the walls between you and the unseen have grown thinner. In that space, every sound becomes a teaching, every silence a scripture. The wind itself might seem to carry messages, and even your own heartbeat might echo like a drum guiding you home. Baba Vanga often spoke of visions that came to her, not in chaos, but in moments of absolute stillness, when the mind no longer wrestled with questions, the answers would simply arrive. The energy of 7 invites you to enter that state, to breathe, to listen, to let the noise fall away until only what matters remains. For it is here, in the gentle space between thought and truth, that destiny often speaks the clearest. And so, dear seeker, as you walk with the number 7, remember that enlightenment does not demand you conquer mountains. It asks only that you sit long enough for the mountain to reveal itself to you. The question is not how far you will travel, but how deeply you will listen when you arrive. Ask yourself now, where in my life am I being called to trade noise for stillness so that the voice of truth may finally be heard? Number 9. The circle of completion. 9 is not simply a number, it is a breath at the end of a journey, a soft closing of a chapter, and the gentle turning of a page into something yet unseen. In numerology, it is the elder, the sage, the compassionate teacher, who has walked every path, stumbled on every stone, and now knows which roads lead to truth and which dissolve into illusion. 9 carries the weight of many lifetimes, the echo of lessons learned, and the fragrance of wisdom that can only bloom after seasons of growth. It is the number that reminds us that endings are not walls, they are doorways, they are thresholds into a brighter, more luminous chapter, if we have the courage to step through. This month, the vibration of 9 arrives like a quiet bell at dusk, inviting you to reflect deeply. Where in your life have you been holding on to what no longer nourishes your soul? Where have you feared the empty space that follows letting go? The truth is, nothing truly leaves. In the Buddhist view, all things are impermanent, yet nothing is ever lost. It merely changes form. The flower becomes fruit, the fruit becomes seed, the seed becomes earth again. So too does each ending in your life prepare the soil for the next miracle to take root. Baba Vanga once hinted, those who close one path with grace will find the next already lit. This is the secret of the number 9. It doesn't demand struggle, only surrender. It asks you to step away from what is finished with gratitude, for only in that space of release can the universe place in your hands something new, something aligned with who you have now become. You are not who you were when this chapter began, and so the story must also change. In Buddhist teaching, there is a practice of bowing 3 times after completing a task, not for the task itself, but for the journey it represented, the growth it carried, and the presence it demanded. Perhaps this month, you are being asked to bow to your own life, bow to the challenges that shaped you, bow to the relationships that taught you love, and the ones that taught you boundaries. Bow to the moments of silence that revealed truths louder than words. And as you bow, feel the gentle hand of the universe guiding you toward the next door. It may not be wide open yet, but its light is already spilling across your path. The number 9 is the reminder that the end is simply the beginning, written in a different ink. The spiral continues, and you are rising with it. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, what am I ready to end with peace, so that the next chapter may begin bathed in light? Bonus number 44, the Master Builder's Promise. In the quiet chambers of numerology, the number 44 is whispered about with reverence. It is not just a number, it is a master vibration, a rare and potent force that doubles the grounded stability of the 4, while magnifying its influence far beyond the limits of a single lifetime. This is the architect of destiny, the sacred builder, whose hands work not only for personal gain, but for the shaping of futures yet unborn. When 44 moves through your life, it invites you to see your actions as seeds planted in the soil of eternity. Every choice, every effort, every structure you raise is a brick in a temple that will stand long after you are gone. This number asks for vision and discipline in equal measure. It calls you to dream with the courage of a poet and to build with the patience of a monk. There is no room for haste here, for what is born under 44 must be strong enough to weather the passing of centuries. Nostradamus once spoke of an age when some will plant trees whose shade they themselves will never sit in. This is the essence of 44, a call to create something that will shelter generations, knowing that your joy comes not from seeing its completion, but from knowing it was set in motion by your hands. And yet there is a deeper current beneath its stone-like strength. In Buddhist wisdom, Such selfless work is known as punya, or merit, a sacred accumulation of goodness that does not fade with the turning of seasons. When we build for the benefit of all beings, we weave threads into the great tapestry of compassion, leaving behind more than structures or wealth. We leave behind echoes, ripples of kindness that can transform strangers we will never meet. To walk with 44 is to accept the weight and grace of responsibility. It is to understand that the work you do now will outlive you, and that its true value lies not in recognition, but in its silent service to the world. Like the Buddha's disciples who carried his teachings beyond the Ganges, you become a messenger whose work transcends the boundaries of your own life. And so, in these coming weeks, if 44 has touched your path, listen closely. The universe may be asking you to take on a role far larger than yourself, to build something that will stand as a blessing for others. Whether it is a dream, a movement, a legacy, or a sanctuary, know that the strength of this number will guide your hands with unshakable clarity. Ask yourself now, with the humility of one who knows the brevity of life, what am I building today that will remain standing when I am no longer here? These numbers are not mere predictions etched in the cold surface of fate. They are breathing vibrations, living frequencies that whisper to your soul in the quiet spaces between your thoughts. Each carries a unique key, shaped by the timeless rhythm of the universe, the grounding strength of 4, which roots you firmly in stability and truth. The divine openings of 21, inviting doors to appear where once there were walls. The cleansing power of 18, washing away the dust of old karma and freeing the path ahead. The spiritual depth of 7, drawing you inward to the temple within. The graceful endings of 9, which close one chapter so another may bloom. And the master vision of 44, a rare and luminous blueprint for creating a life aligned with your highest calling. In this second half of 2025, the universe does not come to push you, nor to demand haste. It arrives like a gentle hand on your shoulder, a guiding wind at your back, leading you toward the life that has always been waiting, patient and steadfast, just beyond the veil of your present moment. You are not being rushed, you are being remembered. If a number has stirred something deep within you, do not let it pass like a forgotten dream. Speak it, claim it, write it below as a vow to your own becoming. Let it take root in your journey as a seed planted in the fertile soil of intention. And as you do, remember the old Buddhist truth, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Today perhaps the teacher has arrived, not as a person, not as a voice, but as a sacred number, carrying the wisdom you were always meant to hear.